Okay, so today I'm going to tell you another story. And these stories are coming to me just because of this class that I'm teaching in Chisti Prudi, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so the students have started to come early, and it's nice because we get these really great discussions going. And they're really interesting students. And I have to be honest, I haven't had a group of students like this in like 5 years. 5 years ago I was in Zheleski, in Zhelezno-Dorozhny, and I had a really great group there. It was also the same, adults, intermediate, and we really connected, and to this day I'm still friends with pretty much all of those students. I even call some of them the eternal students because they've become my students forever. We're in touch on Odniklasniki, on Facebook, on Yahoo, and so this group that I have now, they remind me a lot of that group that I once had. And so the group works because we really understand each other and we really gel together. We really have these really great discussions. And so the students are just unconsciously learning English, but at the same time they don't even know that they're learning because we're all together as one unit having a really good time. And so the class, 2 hours goes like that. And to be honest, even like me as a teacher, I don't even want the class to come to an end because like even last night we had so much fun and I went home and I was so happy, and so it's pretty much an amazing thing. But the students were coming early because they wanted to talk about relationship, and they're having so many problems, so many conflicts, and I could see it in a lot of their faces, this like the look of uncertainty, and I'm trying to knock that out of them. But they're some of them are afraid to commit, and some of them are kind of out there and looking. And so I was trying to give them like a little bit of advice of how to be happy, or of like, how to reach happiness or to find happiness. And I can't really put myself in their shoes, but they help me do that. But I tell them in very simple forms. I say, if you want happiness, you should do this, this, and this. And then we start the debate. So yesterday I said, just 3 words. I said, happiness is marriage. And this guy, Alexander, started cracking up laughing. He's like, ha, 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 that's what all the girls say. And I was like, and then Sasha was laughing too, and a couple of girls were laughing over here. And I was like, oh, smishno, сейчас ты получишь. I was like, no, I'm being absolutely serious. And I said it again. I said, marriage is happiness. And I was like, look, all of you guys are single. These are all university students. And so they think that what they're doing, they're going out and they're dating and showing themselves to people. They think this is like the greatest thing. I'm like, oh, no, you guys have, a long way to go. Or I told some of them, actually, some of you have been dating for 3 years. What's stopping you from getting married? So we started, very slowly talking about marriage. And we spent a great part of the class talking about relationships and why these relationships are failing. And I thought of my friend Oleg, this guy that lives in the center, somewhere in Kitai-Gorod. He's been my friend for 5 years. And in 5 years, he's been dating for 5 years. And now he's like 30 years old. And I'm like, last time I saw him, I saw the emptiness in his eyes. And I told him, you know why this is? It's because this program you have in your head, this conditioning, just keeps repeating itself. And you don't see it. I see it. My friends see it. Your parents probably see it. But you don't see it. And he's like, oh, no. Nothing wrong with me. It's the girls, the girls in Moscow. You don't understand them. I'm like, oh, no. I married a Muscovite, so I understand, there's a lot of different kinds of women in Moscow. And so what kind of program is repeating with Oleg? Even when he visited me in Crimea, the program was repeating. And the program is this: think about yourself, search for your own personal pleasure. This whole idea of, I want pleasure, I desire this, I want her or him or the whole world to please me. Even if he believes in God and worships God, he uses God as something, oh, he must please me. I have a wish, oh, he must grant my wish. Like this is something like a genie we rub, and the genie comes out and says, oh, you need a car? Here it is. And this is how he works. This is how he deals with women. So of course, every month he's going through a new girl. That's called dating. You know, I want her this week. Oh, I don't like her anymore. She doesn't smell nice. I'm going to date her. Aha! But I took her dancing in Kuznetsky Most at Karma Bar, and she wasn't a very good dancer. Ah, she's done. And this one over here, she said she didn't like my accent. Oh, I can't take criticism. She's gone. He dates an older woman. Oh, she's going to teach me about love. Oh yeah, but she's going to get older than, older really fast. And when I see the wrinkles, she has to go. And then he's dating these really young girls that haven't even entered university. But they're at totally different ages. They don't understand each other. So he's going through relationship after relationship after relationship. Why? Because of this program in the mind. And the program says, you must serve me. You must make me happy. You must fulfill all of my needs. And as soon as you stop doing this, in fact, as soon as there's any conflict, the relationship is over. And I'll just find somebody else. And that somebody else is going to fulfill my needs. And so when you see a person like this, and you see them, and they've been doing this, practicing this pattern year after year after year, you see the emptiness in their eyes. And they might say, oh no, no порядок. You're suffering. And so you see it in their eyes, and you're like, you must be doing something wrong. You must be divorcing yourself from something very, very great. Something that's right in front of you. Something that people, really happy people, can see in this world. It's right in front of them. But you can't see it. Why can't you see it? It could be because you're worshiping yourself. You're serving yourself. And you're thinking nothing of my pleasure. And when I think of somebody like the opposite of Oleg, I think of my friend Igor. And Igor just does the opposite. So when you look in his eyes, you see there's not the emptiness, there's something there. A type of joy. A type of joy you can't find in books. You can't buy with money. You can't travel to Miami Beach, because all my Russian students are like, oh, if only I can travel to Miami Beach, then I would be happy. No, it's not that easy. And so you have a type of joy in the eyes, and you can get this joy anywhere. You don't have to travel. You don't even have to have a passport. The way to get this joy is something called, let's just say, selflessness. Selflessness, or loss of self, or giving up of self, or loss of ego, or sacrificing or giving your life and your existence for something greater than yourself, something way beyond yourself. It could be a wild, imaginative idea. It could be something beautiful like art or music. Or it could be something spiritual. It could be something very personal. But it could be an idea that's beyond yourself, even a bit beyond your mind, but something that keeps you going. And this idea changes the way you think, and you stop thinking of yourself, and immediately you're concerned with whoever's in front of you. And you're no longer thinking, oh, my pleasure. I want to be happy. I want to be beautiful. Look at me. Look at my car. Look how wealthy I am. Look how wonderfully beautiful I am. No, these thoughts all come to a stop, and then you start thinking the person in front of you, and it could be a person in the subway whom you've never seen before or met. And all of a sudden you're thinking, wow, look at this person. How can I make him happy? How can I make her happy? How can I make them laugh? How can I give them something substantial? How can I give them something special? How can I change their life? How can I even give them one idea that will take them to a greater place in their lives? And not only do you start doing this for one person, but you start doing this for every single person you meet. And you don't do it because the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. It's second nature. It's like a fish swimming in the sea. If you tell the fish, person continue, you are swimming in the sea. Fish has no idea what you're talking about. What is the fish doing? It's living by its nature. And so as a human being, our natures, I would say, is to serve selflessly, to lose ego, and to take whatever partner you have in front of you, and to say every day, every morning, what in the world can I do to make this person happy? And now you're no longer getting things. I need this, my pleasure, my parties, I need all of these things. Now it's the opposite. You're starting to give. You're starting to get rid of. You're becoming a minimalist. And your left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. Because this is all coming from your true human nature. So things come to you, boom, they pass right through you. Somebody gives you a gift, and then you go and pass it on. And I'm speaking metaphorically, but I'm also speaking actually. And so Oleg, when I saw Oleg, he was suffering and he was struggling, and it was in the eyes. And then I met Igor, whom I haven't seen in 4 years. And I saw the eyes, and I was like, well, there's joy. Why is this? What is this mystery? It's no mystery. One's receiving, thinking about his own personal pleasure, and the other's giving, selflessly giving. So even if you are to insult a selfless person, there's no reaction. It's like they're not even there. So if somebody were to start insulting, like I did, immediately I went to Oleg, I said, well, you're doing the wrong thing. You're not living properly. And this is why you get this kind of result. If you continue to do this and this and this, you're divorcing yourself from something very great. Meaning you're breaking yourself apart from something very good. And the result will always be in the negative. And so inwardly, you're going to feel not very good. And that's going to show in every relationship you have. And people are going to pick up on this. You can't fool people. They know whether your smile is authentic or not authentic. And then I take another one of my friends, somebody who's just giving and giving and giving, like Vitalik and like Igor, and they have the joy in their eyes. And they'll never lose that joy because they've already figured out this one of many secrets. And this secret is loss of ego, selflessness, to lose the self and to do it for a greater cause and purpose than yourself. And that could be something so simple as the person that's right in front of you, or the wife that you've been married to for 15 years whom you have not been appreciating. Or it could be the person whom you're planning on perhaps beginning a life with and marrying. So what you have to do, it's quite simple. You stop thinking of yourself and start thinking of that other person. And then the secret is this. Once you start giving, the whole secret of giving causes happiness. So the more you give, and the more goodness you're doing, because you're living in the pure mode of goodness, free from passion and free from ignorance. You're in the mode of goodness, so everything you do, everything you say, every relationship you have is good and will have a good result. This is like a mathematical formula that works. It has been proven, it is true, and it always will be true. And if you practice it, you will see that the results are always unbelievable, and you'll come back and say, oh my gosh, this must be a miracle. Well, it's happened millions of times, so guess what? It is miraculous. And so, when you practice this practicing of giving yourself, of losing yourself for something greater than yourself, it could be an idea, it could be something very abstract, but something very realistic, like love and peace between the United States and Russia and the people. But when you do this, and the more you lose yourself, and the more you give, and give, and give, and it comes to the point where you don't even know you're doing it. You're just being nice to everybody, regardless of who they are. What do you receive in return? Not just temporary happiness, not just momentarily happiness. Happiness momentarily, or momentary happiness. You receive eternal happiness, meaning this happiness does not go away. It just keeps building, and you keep becoming happier and happier and happier and happier. That's how it works. I've seen it work in my friends, I've seen it work in my family members, I've seen it work with people who started out unregenerate, not believing in anything, like, no, none of this works. And then they've actually put it into practice and they've tried it and it has turned out to actually work, and they've then become regenerate. And I've seen it work in thousands of people's lives. So I know that it's true, and nobody can tell me that it isn't true. And what I'm saying to you, my wonderful students in Moscow, that if you try it, you will also receive the happiness that I've received and the happiness that my friends have received. That'll be the end of the second story, and the next one I'll try to give you something a little bit more interesting. Thank you.